Well, first of all, I'm so delighted to see you all, and a very special welcome to our new members and our guest speakers. So, especially for the new members who don't know me, I'm based in San Francisco, USA, and I come from Lucknow in India, and most of my family is in different parts of India, and so we have very deep connection to Indian subcontinent. And also, the Lucknow is really known for, the unity between different religions, different creeds, and that has been one of the very cultural aspect of the religion, of the Lucknow culture, and I'm very proud of that. So, so I've been very privileged to be part of Ibaadatkahna founding members, and I wanted to really take a moment to share with you, the mission and the values of our movement, and certainly very near and dear to my heart, and that's really drives me, and that's why I feel so excited and inspired about it. So first of all, our mission is to transform and uplift the Indian subcontinent from the ranks of underdeveloped countries and bring the region to the ranks of the developed and highly industrialized countries. And we want to do by fostering a peaceful, just, and an inclusive society free from fear and violence. And if you don't do it, without doing it, if we don't do this, the people of this subcontinent will remain condemned to massive poverty, hunger, unemployment, lack of healthcare, good education, and farmers' distress will continue, and many, many other ills of the poverty will continue. So we want, there are few things which we very strongly believe, and we want to share that with you. So we believe that transformation and uplifting can be achieved by creating a strong unity among people and through the sustained struggle of people. Our efforts are inspired by humanity and secularism and are geared towards upholding the dignity of the people and of all religions and races. The path of Sulh Qual, the secular path shown by the great Mughal Emperor Akbar, is a correct path to maintain the unity among the people of the diverse ethnicity, culture, and religion. We also believe that democracy is the best known form of the government to promote peace and prosperity, and the state should be governed by the rule of law, which of course have been a significant challenge in that continent. Also, we will stand united against the forces that seek to destroy the unity amongst people by taking the advantage of the diversity and creating hatred and animosity on the basis of religion, caste, language, and race. And of course, we have a really urgency to really unitedly respond to the dark clouds of the religious polarization and the oppression of the minorities in the Indian subcontinent. That has amplified in recent years, and which is threatening the very core secular fabric of this region. So this is something which is our North Star, and which is something really excites and brings us together. And I'm very, very delighted the response we have got to our Ibaadatkahna movement. And as I said, we welcome our new members who have joined. And also I want to thank you the continued support and commitment from our existing members. And as Tasawar was talking, we very strongly feel that to increase the global reach and to further strengthen our movement, we would like to have more robust organization. We have done well so far, and we had a very significant event last year, which was very successful. But we need to really strengthen and increase our presence globally, as well as we need to have people on the ground. So one of the thoughts we have is we want to create Ibaadatkahna chapters in all prominent cities and universities. And so there are things we need from you. So first of all, we need help from you in terms of your ideas, how we can strengthen this movement further. And the second, we need your time and commitment to be involved and lead these activities and efforts where you are. So that's the second thing I'd like to ask for. And then we also want you to reach to your family, friends, colleagues, and tell them about this movement. And if they are inspired by our mission and values, maybe you want to invite them and join this movement. So we truly want to appeal and inspire all peace-loving people of the Indian subcontinent and around the globe to join Ibaadatkahna and be part of this great movement and historical. So first of all, I'd like to quickly introduce my core team here, and I know you will have opportunity to listen to them and get to know more, as well also you like to hear, we will hear a vision from them, what they plan to do in their respective areas as such. So we have Prabhakar Karupalla, who is our Chief Financial Officer. We have Ritu Jha, who's our Chief Media Officer, and Irfan Ali is our Chief Digital Officer. Additionally, we have Athar Elahi, who recently joined us, and he will be our Joint Secretary, focusing on the youth leadership aspect. So with that, Tasawar, I'd like to invite Prabhakar to introduce himself and also talk about his vision in his area.
Okay. All right, Prabhakar. Thanks, Naren. Prabhakar, you're on.
Hey, yeah. So good evening and good morning, everybody who are joining from different regions. My name is Katju. I've been living in Bay Area, San Francisco. I come from Tamil Nadu, basically southern state of India. So I've been given role basically chief financial officer here. So the why I am here, right? Basically, Naren outlined what is the mission and vision, what we are trying to do through this organization in order to bring harmony as well as uplift the people. So that's the reason we are here. We started we are less than 1 year old. Last December, we have done interfaith dinner here at Fremont. So basically, it created big big impact on people. So now we want to create multiple events or conduct these kind of events here in Bay Area as well as across the world. Whoever leading the chapter in particular region, then basically to raise some fund in order to expand our reach across the globe, through conducting webinar or creating a channel, so to bring eminent leaders from respective religions or respective area to have a kind of question answer session. So that way we can do the live streaming or YouTube channel, so that we can bring some kind of maybe create awareness that can also bring some ideas or to financially some way which we can benefit out of it in order to continue this. Then also still we are young, so we are brainstorming or we need to work out the ideas how we can basically raise funding. Then how do we spend those funding, right? So those are the areas we need to work. Actually, we will be working with our core members how we can do that. Then another one is basically the chapter, right? Every month we may need to create specific area interest what we are going to address, then bring the eminent speakers, then like create these kind of webinars. So the way that it's going to create awareness, then bringing more people. Then these are the ideas which we are like talking and developing actually. So we are like final talk how we are going to use or bringing funding to the organization. How do we spend? That will be like shared with across all the members, then get approval, and start going. So, yeah, I think that actually that's how I think I'm done actually. Like yeah.
Okay, I think we have some static. I will request all the members to mute if you are not speaking. Would appreciate. I can mute also, but if you can mute your speakers so we can hear Prabhakar well. And thank you. Okay, sorry, Prabhakar. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's how I think I'm done my. So I think Ritu
Okay.
is going to talk. Yeah.
Okay, Ritu. Thanks, Prabhakar. Ritu, you're on. You want to introduce yourself?
Dr. Salfia needs to mute.
Yes.
Okay, I'll mute her.
Hi. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ibaadatkahna. Hi, how are you? So yeah, it's great to see everybody here. And from where to start? So last time when we met, I think everybody was there. Yeah, Irfan, you were not there, right? Yeah. So
well,
yeah,
I was definitely somewhere, but not in the.
Yeah. So it's an honor. Whenever I meet you all, it's an honor to meet you all and to be part of Ibadatkhana. And I am really pleased to see that we are now taking the steps and moving forward, and with our mission that to be an inclusive society, right, and to maintain peace and make it a non-violent. You know, the atmosphere is so brutal at present across. How to make it a better place to live, right? So being the media spokesperson and all, it's fine. I think everybody's a spokesperson here for me, because we believe in unity and diversity. It is not that I will be speaking. It is everybody has to speak. Everybody has to take the platform, and everybody has to move with the mission. So on my part, what I have thought how we can move forward is by I have three important points I have taken out. Like obviously these type of meetings are very important, even though everybody is busy. I think COVID has made us more busier than what we were before. Second point, if we can at least have meetings every 2 months, I won't say every month possible, that would be nice. Second, reach out to people, as Narenji already said, reach out to people through like-minded people. Basically, I would like to say that, because there are all types of people across. You don't know who is thinking what. So first we have to make a team and grow membership through like-minded people, and then reach out through, as you said, media we have, social media we have, newsletter, blogs, columns. These are the ways. We are not agitators, or we are not into any protest. We are not doing that. So our way of reaching out to people is very peaceful and in a very faithful and trustworthy manner, so that we can gain the trust of the people across. So that's it I have to say today. And Irfan, you go ahead, please. Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Wow, thank you, Ritu. So again, welcome everybody, and I'm happy to be here. Originally, I'm from Delhi, and recently I got in touch with all these beautiful folks here. So my background is, I won't go into very details, but it's in research, and I develop assistive technologies for disabled people, and basically I'm a IT digital person, and that's the reason perhaps that Tasawar and everybody else asked me to work on that part, which is very, very important. And today, earlier today, I was talking to Naren about some ideas, and we have outlined some roadmap for our organization and how can we proceed further. So the idea is to have some, not some, but especially during these challenging times when everything is more like virtual, this digital presence is very, very important. It was never that much important before. So up right after this, like today, we'll start working on some, building up some. Of course, we have a site, a domain, and I need to get the details, but also all the social media that we can integrate. One of the area that we find very difficult, and it's very difficult for Tasawar to manage, managing the new, not new, but the new and old membership. And I have seen him writing individual emails to everybody and communicating with them. We need to make it a little automated. So that process should be automated, and that's the idea. Not just that, but Prabhakar was mentioning something about the funding and collecting that which is very, very important part to run any organization or any event or any idea. To penetrate to the people, you need fund. So we'll see how can we make it a little easier to the people, and how can we outreach to the interested folks. I think that's it. I will pass this baton to Athar. I guess he needs to say something.
Okay. Good morning and good evening to everyone, wherever you are based. Actually, I live in Kashmir, so we have some internet issues here. I don't know if you're able to see me or not. Do I get a confirmation?
We can see you and we can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much. So I recently got in contact with Jalali sir and Naren sir, and they told me about the guidelines and stuff about the Ibaadatkahna movement. So I guess being a young person, being a youth member of this foundation, it's important for me to have some bit more challenging roles than other people, because youth, we are the pillars, we are the like founding structure. We cannot say founding, we are the basis of the society, of any constructural or structural work that's around. So I guess the point is we have to reach to the mass that's young, because young people, they develop the future. So like Ritu ma'am said, like-minded people. So I guess all of us who are working here, we're striving for this secularism and compassion and love between communities, religions, caste, creed, etc. So I guess we don't have to see the left wing, we don't have to see the right wing. We have to strive forward with our centralist minds. So we have to target people who are centralists, who think like us. So that, like Naren sir said, universities, we can make chapters about it, and we can incorporate our idea, our great cause idea which we have, into the minds of people, and let them know about how to build a society, how to live a society. I guess I would not take much time. I would like to end my short speech with a quote from Sir Martin Luther King. He said, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. And hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that." Thank you so much, and God bless you all.
So the only one problem, who did you call old here? You call yourself youth.
Well, that's debatable.
I didn't mean that.
We gotta debate that.
I was not talking about the age perspective. I was talking about like experience.
Sure.
Well, that we didn't take it personal. All right. So we're all young here. Thanks, Athar, for joining you from Kashmir. Appreciate. Again, thanks, Naren. I hope that we're going to really grow pretty fast under your leadership. Naren's our new General Secretary for Ibaadatkahna. I see more structure coming up, more members joining, under leadership for Prabhakar, Irfan, Ritu, and now we have Athar, who's leading the youth wing. Thanks again from different parts of the world. With that, I would like to introduce, we have 3 guest speakers today, which are going to be really making some this evening wonderful for us and for the people who are going to be listening to this. We have Justice Katju, Markande Katju. He's being retired judge of the Supreme Court, has held very senior positions. We have Randolph Langenbach, the professor of Berkeley, has written books about architecture, and I'll let them introduce themselves. And Nagma, I did not know before till I was introduced. I see her, one of the most beautiful actresses, I have to accept. I don't watch many of the Bollywood movies. And she is also leading the and Nagma, I see you do a lot of work. I know you lead a political forum too. And thanks, I know you were not well, and thanks for joining us. But before I wanted to just say a couple of words, right? I think the decadence in our political and judiciary has brought about an era in the history of Indian subcontinent where our moral values are too often filtered through the proxies of political and religious divide today. And it is our moral prerogative to enforce a code of ethics, be it Sulai Kul or any other code, because doing so interferes with others' freedom. So we should not be forcing, like I see people force their moral values, whether it's religion, whether it's ideology. We are definitely not for that, right? Even Sulai Kul, we're not forcing. We show that that's the path. However, the positive side of culture or society must be taken up for the renaissance of secularism and democracy in India, right? Which we see the dark age and darkness, what Justice Katju talks about. And the new ethics can be calcified by a value system that divides people, right? We need to be a uniting force. It must flow from the philosophy of Sulai Kul, the philosophy of religious and racial tolerance that must be introduced has been introduced by the great Mughal king Akbar hundreds of years back. Unfortunately, we have gone back into the dark age. This philosophy of unification, not divide, the philosophy that carries everyone along, not only the political and the business elite. With that, I hand over to Justice Katju. He is going to talk about the state of secularism and the state of judiciary in the Indian subcontinent. Justice Katju, please enlighten us.
Good morning, people in the Indian subcontinent and in Europe. Good evening, people in North America. Welcome to all of you in the second global Ibadatkhana webinar organized by our dynamic chairman, Tasawar Jalali, and his equally dynamic team consisting of Naren Singh, the General Secretary, and Irfan, and Imran Rizvi, and Santosh, and Prabhakar, Maya, and many others. And welcome to any who have joined us from Chinar Foundation also. This idea of starting Ibaadatkahna was created when I was in the Bay Area of California from September onwards last year. And I met Tasawar. First of all, it started when I met Tasawar. Then thereafter, we met Santosh and many others, Randolph and Prabhakar, Imran Rizvi, Maya, many others. See, this idea arose because dark clouds have gathered over India. The clouds of religious polarization. There are certain powerful forces spreading religious hatred, polarizing society, committing atrocities on minorities like lynching of Muslims and things which have given a very bad name to India. See, all this goes against the very identity of India, the very nature, the existence of India as a country with great diversity. So many religions, so many castes, so many languages, so many ethnic groups, so many lingual groups, regional groups, and so on. And you must understand, why is there such tremendous diversity? I doubt whether any country in the world has such tremendous diversity in India. The reason is that India is broadly a country of immigrants. Please try to understand and read my article, What is India?, which you can read online. What is India? In which I have explained that India is like North America. See, in North America, people came mainly from Europe over the last 400 years or so. People have been coming for thousands of years. And why were they coming into India? They came mainly from the Northwest. They came because people migrate from uncomfortable areas to comfortable areas. This is natural. Everybody wants comfort. So in those days, there were no industrial society. There were only agricultural society. And what you require for agriculture? You require level land, you require fertile soil, you require plenty of water for irrigation, etc. Now, India was paradise for agricultural society. All level land, fertile soil, plenty of water, lakes, rivers. Everybody kept pouring into India. Why would anybody go from India to, say, Afghanistan, which is covered with snow for 4 or 5 months in a year, mountainous, rocky, harsh terrain, uncomfortable? People want comfort. Nobody will migrate from India to Afghanistan, except very few. So everybody for thousands of years, kept pouring into India. And all immigrants who came brought their own culture, their language, their religion, and so on. And this explains the tremendous diversity in India. Because it's a country, 93% people today who are living in India, they are descendants of immigrants whose ancestors mainly came from Northwest. Hardly 7 or 8% are the original inhabitants. These are the pre-Dravidian tribals who are called Adivasis or scheduled tribes in India. These Bhils and Gonds and Santals and Todas, they are the original inhabitants. Even the Dravidians were outsiders. The Aryans came from outside and Dravidians also came from outside. The original inhabitants were these scheduled tribes who are hardly today 6 or 7% of our population. All of us are in a sense foreigners. So this explains the tremendous diversity. And therefore, the only policy to keep India together and take it on the path of progress is the path shown by the great Emperor Akbar. He was 400 years ahead of his time. He propounded the doctrine of Sulh-e-Kul, which means giving equal respect to all religions, in the 16th century. He was born in 1542, died in 1605. So most of his life he lived in the 16th century, at a time when Europeans were massacring each other in the name of religion. If you read the history of Europe, Catholics massacring Protestants, Protestants massacring Catholics, and both massacring the Jews, killing even women, children, slaughtering everybody. And at that time, Mughal Emperor Akbar proclaimed the doctrine of giving equal respect to all religions. So he was 400 years ahead of his time. And that is why the Mughal Empire lasted so long, because it was a uniting empire. It took everybody together. And that's how everybody gave respect to the Mughals. So today, some elements are trying to, polarize society, which is the path of destruction for us. We have to remain united, give equal respect to everybody. And therefore, what Ibadatkhana is doing is something historical. Please understand this. All of you are going to play a role in history, because you are setting the train of India, which has been derailed presently, back on the correct track, which is the track leading to the path of prosperity shown by the great Mughal Emperor Akbar. So all of you should feel that you are playing a part in history, in taking the Indian subcontinent forward towards progress. So realize the importance of what you are doing. And Ibadatkhana is bound to grow, because the idea which it represents, this is the idea for the whole world, not just for the Indian subcontinent. You have to give equal respect to all religions. Recently, you may have read that the Chinese are oppressing the Uyghurs in a part of China. Again, this is going to lead to disintegration of China. You can't commit atrocities on minorities just because you are in the majority. You have to give equal respect to everybody. So welcome to all of you once again. Now talking about the judiciary, as I said that India is a country of, the constitution mentions equal respect to all religions. In Article 25, proclaims India to be a secular country. And it is the duty of the judiciary to uphold the rights mentioned in the constitution, including the right of freedom of religion and equality to all people. Because unless the judiciary protects these rights, enforces these rights, upholds these rights, which are called fundamental rights in the Indian constitution, modeled on the Bill of Rights in the US constitution, all these rights will remain just a piece of paper. They will mean nothing unless there is somebody to enforce them. And that body to enforce them is the judiciary. That was its sacred role. Unfortunately, in recent years, what we have been seeing is that largely the judiciary has abandoned that role it was supposed to play of enforcing these fundamental rights of the people. You saw the Ayodhya verdict. You saw what is happening in India, that people who criticize the government are arrested and slapped with sedition charges and all kinds of draconian laws. Those who protested against the Citizenship Amendment Act because it discriminated against Muslims, large number of them are still in jail. That pregnant Kashmiri woman, Safura, for several months she was in jail. Only recently she has been released. But many others like Dr. Kafil Khan and Shahidul Islam, many others are still behind bars. So the judiciary should have stepped in here and quashed those prosecutions and those detentions which were illegal. For example, the detention of the Kashmiri leaders. After the events of 5th August, when Article 370 was abrogated, large number of Kashmiri leaders were arrested. Now, habeas corpus petitions were filed for their release. Habeas corpus petition means a petition asking for release from illegal arrest. Now, these habeas corpus petitions are supposed to be decided very quickly. They have priority over every other case. But they have been pending for 10 months, 11 months, still they are not being decided. One or two people like Farooq Abdullah and Umar Abdullah have been released, but that also not released by the judiciary, but by the government on its own. But a large number of other people arrested for last 10, 11 months are still in jail. The habeas corpus petitions are still pending in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court does not decide them. It keeps on adjourning month after month. What is this kind of behavior? You are supposed to decide a case one way or the other, not keep adjourning it. But unfortunately, I'm sorry to say, I was a member of the higher judiciary, but the judiciary seems to have, surrendered before the political executive. And the reward which was given to the previous Chief Justice of India, Gogoi, who did the bidding of the government, that he was, after retirement, made a member of parliament. This is the reward he has been given, quid pro quo. So this is very sad that judiciary, which was supposed to be independent, impartial, neutral, is largely today, it has caved in before the political masters, and they are not doing their duty, for which they have taken an oath, and they're being paid salary for doing their duty. But they're not, just avoiding issues which they should decide, and they should quash illegal detention, illegal arrests, but they are not doing it. So this is a very sad state of affairs prevailing in the Indian judiciary today. Thank you.
Thank you, Justice Saab. It has been very enlightening as usual. I'm sure people find and take heed. I hope people are listening in the whole Indian subcontinent and around the world. And hopefully, I'm sure democracy, justice, law, constitution will prevail. Again, thanks Justice Katju for enlightening us with your views. With that, we'll open it for question and answers after the three guest speakers talk, and then we'll continue introducing other new members who have joined us. With that, I'll hand it over to Randolph Langenbach. It has been the Hagia Sophia, which was recently converted to a mosque. The subject is very close to Professor Randolph, and he would like to talk about, actually, if you want to share the pictures, Randolph, please do that. you have the sharing capability, and you can start. And you're on mute. You may want to unmute yourself.
I need you to release the screen sharing option. It says you've disabled the participant screen sharing. So Taz, please go into your Zoom screen and enable screen sharing.
It is shared.
There it is. Okay, good. There we are. You see.
I only see your folders. We don't see the presentation. You may want to share the presentation. You're not sharing the presentation.
You're not. You don't see my presentation?
No, we just see your file explorer.
Yeah. So Randolph, you need
It doesn't say Hiya Sophia. I have on my screen. I have it fill the screen as a PowerPoint. You don't see that?
So stop. Okay, Irfan, you can guide.
What?
Okay, so Randolph, do me a favor. When you press the share button, it will give you some option to share any particular screen. So select that particular screen. In that case, you perhaps
share
the spreadsheet or
PowerPoint.
There.
So, I see. I have to press share.
There you go. We see it now, but it's empty. It's empty slide.
Yeah, I'm looking now to switch it to my, oh dear. Where did it go then? Here. It must be this.
You could open it again, I guess. Click on it.
You see it now?
It's opening right now.
Is that it?
Nope.
Oh, what?
Could you just unshare the screen, just disconnect it for once?
Yeah, stop sharing and share again.
Stop sharing.
Yeah, okay.
And then when you press share button,
yeah,
you will see some option, what particular screen.
Oh, yeah, this should be it here.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's
You
it.
see it now?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, now do you see it?
Yep.
Oh, good. All right. So I didn't know about those options. Forgive me. Time I've done the screen share. So when Taz and I want to thank Taz for organizing this whole thing. I think it's most interesting, and I appreciate very much being a part of it, considering the fact that I did a book on Kashmir for UNESCO, and feel very close. And Taz's family's house is on the cover of my book. And show, I guess you can see me in the side, here, I'll tear it down, and that's Taz's family house right there. So I feel very much part of this. It's been a very influential experience in my life to get to know Kashmir and Srinagar particularly. Of course, I've spent a lot of time in Turkey as well, and I just gave lectures there last year in Istanbul. And then I learned about Erdogan, eliminating the museum of Hagia Sophia and taking it back to being a mosque, which it was for not as long as it was a church and a cathedral, basically. But Hagia Sophia, which means holy wisdom, is an extraordinary relic. And it, as it turns out, as a museum, it was the most visited site in all of Turkey, from what I did see references to. And it was constructed, what we see today, the oldest part of the construction was in the Byzantine era. It was built in the 6th century AD, and on the walls are the mosaics of that period with Justinian, the emperor of the Byzantine Empire that had shifted from Rome to what is now modern Istanbul. But a building which evolved over centuries with with effects of earthquakes and the building of buttresses to keep it from collapsing on the inside, and the dome had been collapsed twice by earthquakes and then rebuilt. And then part of the ruins of what had been a Roman style building are now part of what now is not a museum anymore, but they say that tourists will still be able to see it. But here is what it originally looked like, even before the Justinian era. And then the archaeological digs that were taking place in the space around the Hagia Sophia. And there's a sign there, and you've got to see that on this sign it says, in order not to harm the present Hagia Sophia building, further excavation works have not been carried out. But that's what they mean, the Hagia Sophia building. They don't say church, they don't say mosque, they say building here, which is emblematic of that change that it is essentially meant to represent all of the religions that have occurred. And it began as the Greek Orthodox side of the Catholic Church. Excuse me. And here it was built in the 6th century. But looking out a window in the 2nd floor of Hagia Sophia, there is a mosque. So the making of it back into a mosque when it is only footsteps away from the Blue Mosque, an extraordinary building that you see here is the entrance to it, whereas the entrance to Hagia Sophia is essentially almost like a back door. It's been added on and changed so many times that the original entrance is no longer really conspicuous. But the Blue Mosque is an architectural treasure. When you get on the inside, it just takes your breath away. And this was built 1,000 years later than the Hagia Sophia, but it stands very well for representing what it is. So the idea of turning Hagia Sophia back into a mosque seems a little redundant to what is an extraordinary building nearby. And in Hagia Sophia, and whenever I've been in it, in fact, and photographed it, there's been at least a quarter of the space in the middle filled up with scaffolding, as you can see here. But it's this extraordinary shapes of the domes, and that dome which had fallen twice in 2 different earthquakes, and then rebuilt with a different aspect ratio, and it's stayed there ever since, about 1,000 years. But you can see the evidence of the earthquake right here, where it's been repaired multiple times. It's from the twist in the shape of the plinth on which it sits. But this building really is and should be a museum. You really experience these religions deeply when you're in it, not just Christianity, which is what built it, but the Muslim traditions here with the signs and with the steps and the plinth and everything. It's just part of that tradition has not been removed. But the Christian art that's in it had been painted over, and I never saw it with it painted over, but I show you here where the tourists are looking up at it, having been restored in this case. And there you see the Hagia Sophia shape being held by Emperor Justinian Palestinian, I think, is who it's meant to represent. And as you see here, and they have signs to explain things as any museum would have. And what concerns me about it being made back into a mosque is what's going to happen to this Christian art that really forms a fundamental part of this building. And here you see what this feels very much like remains of a Roman entrance into the building with these superhuman door openings. Then you see the columns, and you go through, and it's a combination of things, but then you come across Christ. Here he is, partially destroyed by perhaps when it was made into a mosque. These were all painted over, and luckily they weren't ripped out, but there are only bits of them left. But here you see it is placed on a sign at eye level for people, which is part of its role as a museum, because these are part of the original Byzantine Empire art that was on the walls. Will these be removed? Probably so. It's just hard to imagine that they'll leave Christ himself standing there with a plaque here explaining exactly who and what it is. And, you know, there he is between the Virgin Mary and St. John the Baptist in this particular art that you see here. So when I was there in 2008, I was adopted by a cat. So just as Katju, when you were mentioning the lion and the cat, I can't help but share this with you, that this cat adopted me and climbed up my clothing and remained on my shoulders the whole time that I was in Hagia Sophia in that particular visit. I just fell in love with him, but I had to, of course, leave him behind. But it became my holiday card that year. I couldn't help but do it. But I did something which I think speaks to the very heart of the reason why Ibaadatkahna has been formed in terms of the idea of a combination of religions, because I sent this out, and my Turkish friend, a couple of my Turkish friends, one in particular, a colleague of mine, objected strenuously to my calling the cat Sophia the ecumenical cat, and I was forced to change my card for any others that I sent, or send it back to them, because the idea of ecumenical, which is this word with a small e in English, is for a combination of religions, or at least it's within Christianity, but it's meant also for a combination beyond Christianity. In my case, the ecumenical is seen to them as the Greek church, and so rather than just enjoying the picture of me with the cat on my shoulders, I got an objecting email back from the. It just speaks to the very heart of the reason why we're having this conversation now about India and Pakistan and Kashmir. So I thank you very much, and
yeah, thank you, Randolph. Appreciate. Very enlightening. Learned a lot. I see there were some questions. Some of the members asked, like, why are we talking about Hagia Sophia? The thing is, you know, we must object, use of religion for political purposes anywhere, whether it's Ram Mandir being, Babri Masjid being converted into Ram Mandir, or Hagia Sophia being converted into a mosque. I don't think it has any religious connotation. It is just a political tool for, right-wing extremists that's growing around the world. I think we should equally condemn.
Excuse me?
Yes, that's Katju.
See,
But
Yes.
perhaps Randolph did not mention something which I should mention, that the real reason why President Erdogan has converted this Hagia Sophia into a mosque is that the Turkish economy is sinking. There's massive unemployment growing in Turkey, and in the two biggest cities of Turkey, that is Istanbul and Ankara, the President Erdogan's AK party has lost badly in both these municipal elections in these two biggest cities. So Erdogan saw that his popularity was going down, and many Turks are in fact leaving Turkey because to get jobs, there are no jobs in Turkey. So to divert attention from this economic crisis which Turkey is facing, he is doing all these stunts. This is just a gimmick, converting this Hagia Sophia, just to divert attention from the real issue, which is economic, to show that I'm a great champion of Islam and all that. So please keep this in mind. Thank you.
yes, I agree with you. That seems to be very much at the heart of this and has been explained as such in the press here. I have obviously been no more of a supporter of Erdogan than I have been Modi in India. And that it's nor am I, of course, a supporter of Trump, who's perhaps the worst of them all, at least in understanding how to run a government. But so we're in a bad time, and it's perhaps not surprising that something like the coronavirus would spread throughout the world all at once right now. Some very bad oversight. But nevertheless, I thought that the Hagia Sophia was very much a symbolic example in another country and culture, not too distant, of course, from India and Pakistan, where the question of unifying religions and secularizing the society has now been lost.
Yep. Thank you, Randolph. Appreciate. I guess we did make a point across. Thanks again. Wonderful presentation. And thanks for clarifying this, Katju. With that, we'll be eagerly, I know a lot of people eagerly waiting to hear Nagma. She is on. She has been a really big supporter. And again, thanks for joining. I know you're not well. Nagma, please.
Tasawar, please
yes.
permit me to introduce Nagma. Nagma's
yes.
mother is Muslim, her father is Hindu, and Nagma was born on 25th December, Christmas Day. So she's a combination of three religions, Hinduism, Islam, and Christianity. So she's the real symbol of secularism. Thank you.
Thank you, Justice Katju. Nagma ji, you are on.
Share my cat now with you.
Oh, nice. Good morning to everyone in India, and good evening to everyone abroad. It's wonderful connecting with all of you again. And this is our second webinar, but also welcome to all the new faces that I'm seeing here today. It's great because we haven't been able to connect virtually since the last time that we did. So it's thank you very much. A special thanks to Justice Katju Saab for having connected me to Ibaadatkahna, because and of course Tasawar for letting me be associated to this organization. It's great, and I'm glad that at times such as this we have such a forum. Of course, I'm not taking each one's name. Naren Singh ji is also, secular like I am, and a lot of others over here. I would like to say that, we have over the 70 years of our independence built a lot of institutions democratically in our country, and they have been built on the values of our constitution. But as we see that since the past 6 years, there's a lot happening, that there are constant attacks on these kind of institutions, like we see the judiciary, on the concept of federalism and secularism. We see that there is, the governments that are the state government and the central government, they both should be working in tandem, and both have been fairly working in tandem since many, many years. But the last 6 years, we feel that the state government has been largely undermined. And that's the effect of what we see in what has happened in the Delhi riots also recently, or what we see is what is happening in UP with this latest encounter, whatever. Secularism is getting attacked in a manner that we really need to reflect upon. And I think Ibaadatkahna at this moment in time, that we have all connected to take this forward, is a very good medium, because this is largely the need of the hour. And I would like to say that, the very constitutional values that are enshrined in the preamble, like justice, equality, fraternity, and liberty, are being attacked at this point in time. And the government is majorly misusing its powers in favor of a dominant community, a dominant caste, which is, spoiling the efforts of probably 30 years or 40 years or 2, 3, 4 decades of what has happened in the direction of socio-economic empowerment for women. So I think that, whenever this entire fabric of the country gets attacked, it's more the vulnerable, the vulnerable community, that is the women, which are at a lot of risk. So I think, that there is no justice for them, like this encounters that are happening in UP right now. There is no, the judicial system is not, there are so many cases which are languishing from years and years and years. And that is why they give us this reasoning that they have, they go ahead and encounter people, because you don't know whether justice will be meted out, and it won't be met out. So it's very important at these times and at this juncture that we have, a moderate approach that we all use, which is better for humanity and particularly for the weaker section. Because we have to take the middle path, like the way Gandhiji took, and we have to probably, use or go in the footsteps like Gandhiji has gone, like the way Martin Luther and Nelson Mandela all followed the footsteps of Gandhiji. So I think in today's time, secularism is being largely attacked by the very fact that the dominant community and caste is being protected. So it's
sorry. I'm gonna mute
what
you.
was that?
No, somebody unmuted. Sorry, Nagma, carry on.
Yeah, so I think that, we largely need to create a lot of awareness and a lot of activism through the social media. And I think that already I'm the General Secretary of the All India, Congress, which is, I'm also in charge of 2 states like Kashmir and Pondicherry. But I feel there are a lot of non-political organizations which should come forward in such a situation and help. Hence, my association with Ibaadatkahna at this time. I think this is something which is very, very important, and which will protect the integrity and which will uphold humanity in general. So I think that this is important, and I thank, I wasn't feeling so well today, but I said that no, it's important to come and address at this at this moment. And I think that all of you, I pray and wish for all of you at this times, challenging times of COVID, to be safe and stay safe and secure in your houses. And once again, I thank you all for letting me connect with you. But yes, these are very trying times and challenging times. I would like to end with the fact that, even in the recent times, we've seen that the syllabuses in schools are changing. The very democratic values which are there in the syllabus, the chapters on federalism, the chapters on secularism, all these chapters are being deleted. You see, yesterday and day before AMU, there was a girl who was against the NRC, CA NRC. So somebody, on the social media kind of threatened her, but they sort of, wanted to mar and tar the reputation of the entire university. So my mom was an alumni of the AMU University, and I think that, you cannot at such junctures tar and mar the entire name of the entire university. So what is happening these days is a matter of concern. And yes, in forums like this, we can take up these issues. Globally, there are a lot of other issues to discuss, but majorly and particularly the weaker section and the women that are being attacked or that are being indirectly, you can say, that the constitution is being attacked, because of which these people at the society is at unrest, and these people are getting largely affected, the women and the weaker sections in particular. So that's all I would like to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nagma. I really appreciate. I mean, thanks for being a voice for the people. It's really needed in these kind of trying times. I know, I have observed how people who claim empathy and compassion for fellow human beings from the pedestals of rich and authority, and I refer to all the celebrities and business tycoons in the Indian subcontinent, falter and escape from the very foundation of the pedestals when they're threatened. And Shakespeare said it very well: when the sea was calm, all ships claimed mastership in floating. So we appreciate you being brave and strong and being the voice of the oppressed and the weak, and being in the position of authority. It is more important. I know a lot of people escape because they see their positions are threatened, or their power is threatened, or their business is threatened. So a lot of respect to you, Nagma. Thank you. So with that, I have a couple of members wanting to ask questions, but I also wanted to kind of mention that we have a lot of folks from Kashmir who have joined us, and I'll want them to introduce. But before that, I wanted to introduce our new members, Farah and Kazim, who are here in Sacramento. They have lived here for a long time. They're based in Delhi. They know Justice Katju pretty well from Allahabad. Farah and Kazim, do you guys want to say hello?
Yeah, hi everyone.
Hi
this
everyone.
is Farah, and this is my husband Kazim. So we are based in Sacramento, and we have been here for about 20 years. Before we were in San Ramon. So we enjoyed being here. We really appreciated your invitation, and we had a good time listening to the webinar. It was really enriching listening to Justice Katju and also the professor. And I feel like this forum right here is a very diverse group. People from different walks of life, people from different, experiences under their belt. So it was a very enriching and good experience being here, and we enjoyed coming over and listening in. So just a little bit introduction about us is that we both are alumni of Aligarh Muslim University. We did our engineering from there, and then we moved here, and we are working with the government in Sacramento. Moving forward, we would definitely like to actively participate in it and go from here. So thank you.
May I say a few words about Farah? May I say a few words about Farah?
Yes, please do.
Farah's father, Professor Akhtar Majid, and I were classmates in Allahabad University from 63 to 66 or so. We were very close friends. He passed away several years back. Farah's father, Akhtar Majid, we were very close friends in Allahabad University. Then Professor Akhtar Majid got married to Farah's mother, Nagma Akhtar, whom I met many times, and Nagma Akhtar is a professor, and she's a vice chancellor of Jamia Millia University, Delhi, the first lady vice chancellor of a central university in India. That's a record she has created. That's Farah's mother. In fact, I spoke to Nagma, Farah's mother, yesterday morning, and she said that her daughter Farah is in Sacramento, and she remembers when she was a tiny child, she had come with her mother Nagma to meet me, and I had said that she will one day become a great person. But that was so many years back, frankly, I've forgotten, but Nagma reminded me that Farah has not forgotten that when she was a tiny girl, she came with her mother to meet me, and I said, one day your daughter will become a great person. Is that true, Farah?
I don't know.
I forgot. I've forgotten about it, but your mother told me that this is what you had told my daughter, that one day she will become a great person. So I keep talking to Farah's mother, that is Professor Nagma Akhtar, who is the Vice Chancellor. She's like a sister, because her husband was my very close friend, unfortunately passed away many years back. Thank you.
We have great respect.
So,
both I and my husband, we have met you many times in Allahabad, and we always remember our meetings with you. And my Abu, who was your classmate, he was a huge fan of Allahabad University. He could just never, ever accept any other university to be better than that. So he was.
And I would like to thank Justice Katju for introducing us to this group. And I get a chance to meet him a couple of times while I was doing masters in Allahabad. So I don't know whether he remember it or not.
It's a long time back. I'm an old man. I've forgotten that. You would be remembering, but I forgot.
Well, one of the things, Justice Katju, that you have kept out of this conversation, I don't know, you have kept it on purpose. You're hiding one thing, which I'm going to expose you today, which I heard from Farah's mom this morning. She told me that there was a play, it's for Nagma especially, that you were part of a play where Farah's dad played Akbar and you played Salim. So there was a chance for you to go back into Bollywood. So you have an acting background. So I found that this morning. Okay, thank you, Katju Saab. Thank you, Farah. We have Santosh just joined us, and Yamni just joined us. Yamni runs the show San Francisco. She hosts this FM in California. It's called
Dil Ki Awaaz.
FM. Yeah, so Dil Ki Awaaz. Thank you. Yamni, want to introduce yourself real quick?
Okay. Yes. Thank you so much, Tasawar. Thank you, Justice Katju. Yes, Tasawar ji brought us, brought Katju Saab to our studio, and we had an interview, a very long interview.
We can't see you. I can't see you.
Better not see me right now. But thank you so much for introducing me to this forum. But we had a lovely time talking to Justice Katju, and a lot of stories. Oh my God, a lot of stories back from India. How he had his background from India and everything. And me and Namrata, we run this radio show, and we also went to the first event which you had at Fremont in a restaurant. So that was also interesting. I mean, it's new to me. My father is from Jammu and my mother is from Himachal. So being from Jammu, I have seen a lot of things, while visiting there. My dad was in army, so we traveled a lot. We were not in one place, but I have heard a lot of things and how things were, and we visited Kashmir a lot. So a lot of memories from Kashmir. So yeah, good to see all of you here. It's new faces, I know, but very nice. Thank you so much, Tasawar, for the introduction. Thank you.
Of course. Yami, next guest should be, please get Nagma on your next show.
Sure, definitely. We would love to, Nagma ji. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Yami. Santosh, I just see you. You want to say a quick hello?
Yeah. Thank you, Tasawar, for introducing me. This is our second meeting, the COVID-19 Zoom meeting, I guess. It's fantastic to meet you all, like-minded people. It's very rare. We sort of are like a rare crowd, who believes in plurality, secularism, and diversity. So we should keep going. I mean, today we could be a small group, but definitely we will become majority soon. And huge credit to Tasawar, Justice Katju, to keep the momentum up and continue to have these sort of nice meetings. And very, very nice to connect with all you folks here. Thank you, Tasawar.
Okay, thanks, Santosh. Santosh is also pretty active politically with Aam Aadmi Party, if you don't know. So he's their secret agent. He leads their US forum or whatever the US is. He was very critical in their recent win. Thanks, Santosh. Appreciate you making time. We know would like to really give opportunity to Irfan, who is, I believe, General Secretary of Chinar. Asif could not join, I believe. I asked Asif and in the lunch, somehow they're tied up. But Irfan, you want to speak and introduce yourself?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear us,
Thank you.
Irfan? Okay,
Yeah, I can hear you. Thank you. So, good morning, in India and everyone abroad. Good evening, Justice Katju, Nagma ji, sir, everyone. I ran an independent peace-building research, and it's named the Kashmir Journal, and that helped me to connect with Justice Katju 2 months back, and we have been associating to help stranded Kashmiris across all over India. And then we formed the Chinar Foundation, and we are currently working with that. As Justice Katju always say, the objectives and aims of foundation, this Chinar Foundation and Ibaadatkahna, is almost similar and same. So it was nice to hear everyone. It was nice to hear from Justice Nagma ji and every one of your views. And we all are learning as young students and young people. We all are learning from your experience. Thank you so much for including me here. Thank you, Tasawar, sir.
Oh, thank you, Irfan. Always enlightening, always a pleasure to have you. You have done a wonderful work. With that, actually, I think you were working very closely with Dr. Salfia in getting people from Kashmir, from Kyrgyzstan back to Kashmir. I think she is on. So let's hear from her. Actually, we didn't hear from her in the last session. Dr. Salfia, I believe, would you want to unmute yourself and introduce and talk about the experience and how you guys came from Kyrgyzstan back to your journey to Kashmir?
Am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Good morning to those who are in India and good evening to those who are abroad. My name is Dr. Salfia. I'm a final year medical student in Kyrgyzstan. We were stuck there. Nobody was able to reach out. Nobody was helping us. Then I contacted Asif Abdullah sir. I contacted Justice Katju sir, and then he contacted Vivek Tankha sir, and that's how they helped us, and we finally reached. Then one flight was arranged on 26th of June, another on 8th of July, and another one is on 25th, which was initially on 31st, and which was then preponed to 25th with the help of Vivek Tankha sir and Asif Abdullah sir and Justice Katju sir.
So how many students were helped and they went back to Kashmir with your efforts?
We were around 450 or so. I think everyone is not everyone, excluding 120 are back home now. And these 120 will be back on 25th of July.
Excellent. You guys have done an amazing job. Irfan, Dr. Salfia, Indervansh, Asif, you're not here. Thank you for all the good work. This is amazing. With that, I have a couple of more. I'll let you go pretty soon. I think we have a few more guests. I think very important guest who's joining us from Germany. I don't know what time it is there. I haven't really done the math. We have Karen, and I guess, Karen, you're accompanied by your spouse, but Karen, would you like to introduce yourself?
Bindu. His name is Bindu.
Bindu, yes.
Hi,
Thank
everybody.
you. Thank you.
Hope all well. Thank you for
Yes.
this wonderful opportunity, and personally thank you, Justice Katju, for introducing us to this group. I'm Kiran Krishnaya, and this is my wife, Bindu Ravishankar, working as a software engineer and currently residing in Germany over a year. To begin with, my idea of secularism stems from the famous revolutionary movement from Karnataka, which dates back to the 12th century AD, which was initiated by philosopher Basavana. When the whole region was brewing with caste and religious bigotry, Basavana, along with others, came up with the concept of parliament-like structure called the Anubhava Mantapa. To this consortium, all segments of the society, irrespective of their caste, creed, or religion, were invited to talk wholeheartedly and express their everyday struggles. Having said that, I feel this platform is also one such initiative. On this occasion, I would like to quote one of Basavana's Vachanas in Kannada. It says, Iva Yarava, Iva Yarava, Iva Yarava, Iva Nammava, Iva Nammava, Iva Nammava. In literal sense, which means, who is he, who is he, who is he? He is one among us, he is one among us, he is one among us. Time and again, these activities need to be done because society always needs to be revived. Thank you. And Bindu will take over from here.
Hi, everyone. It's actually my pleasure to be a part of this organization. When I hear about secularism, what comes into my mind is the preamble of our constitution, which states, "We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic." These words, secular, was added into the preamble by the 42nd Amendment in 1976 by the government led by the then PM, Mrs. Indira Gandhi, to remind us Indians that India is a secular state with no state religion, that we respect all religions and treat all religions equally. Not just the amendment, she lived through this philosophy. We very well know that she was assassinated in 1984 by her own entrusted bodyguards, Satwan Singh and Byan Singh, in the aftermath of Operation Blue Star. Despite all the investigating agencies urging her to remove the two bodyguards, she was reluctant to do so, as she felt that that move might create a communal divide. She had said that she will not change the bodyguards in the name of caste or religion, and that she does not want to save her life by creating a divide in the society. But time and again, religion is being used as a base for vote bank politics. The 1990 Kashmir riots, the 1992 Babri Masjid demolition, Bombay riots, 2002 Gujarat Godhra riots, and presently the 2020 Delhi riots at the anti-CA protests prove that communal disharmony is a
we can
weapon.
Hear you.
Is a
okay,
weapon.
Now we can hear.
Yeah. Is a weapon used by politicians time and again. What I see is that the 1909 Indian Councils Act, also known as the Minto-Morley reforms, introduced this separate electorate for Muslims to divide the then united Indians. And even till today, we haven't been able to remove the communal divide. What I feel is, if in a school, they start the roots of secularism, I don't think anyone will become a bigot, because no one is born a bigot, but they're only taught to be a bigot. So I feel we have to make the roots stronger at the fundamental level. If in school itself, if a person is taught that everybody is equal, I don't think anybody will grow up to be a bigot or to create any kind of violence. I think Ibaadatkahna also can be of help in training young minds as well. And I hope we can do our bit in spreading the message of Ibaadatkahna.
Absolutely. Thank you, Kiran and Bindu. Thanks for taking time and I'm really, I don't know what time it is there, but again, thanks for being patient.
Yeah, it's actually 7:30 a.m. right now, so we are 3.5
wow.
hours.
Oh, so we're up.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, thanks for the words of wisdom, Karen. I would really like to have you send it to me in writing. I did not, pick it up, but seems like really words of wisdom. Love to hear from you guys. Amazing talent and intellectual people. I mean, people of intellect here. So I have actually, Atar, been wanting to ask a question. I mean, sorry, Atar, I totally lost the track. If you're on, please. He has a question for Professor Randolph. Randolph, are you there?
Yeah. No, it's all right. It's all right. Thank you so much. Professor Randolph, can you hear me?
I am here. Thank you. Yes.
So, sir, I stand by you on the decision, like what you said about the Hagia Sophia, that what Erdogan did, like he did the dirty politics, like he wanted to save himself because his like reputation and his fame was going down. But when the people like registered a complaint or formal anything in the court, in the top court in Turkey, the court said that, and I quote, these are not my words, and I quote, they say Hagia Sophia is a part of Mehmed II's Waqf. Waqf is an Arabic word, which in Ottoman term for a non-transferable, it's religious donation. So it typically involves a building or property for religious and charitable purposes. So when the Sultan, he conquered Istanbul.
I think we lost you.
We lost you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can
yep, get back.
So when Sultan conquered Istanbul in 1453, he converted Hagia Sophia into a mosque. Therefore, when Ataturk changed it into museum in the 20th century, they say it was against the law. But I would say I back you, because at the present times, doing that, it's like what the present government did in India. But sir, my question is not Hagia Sophia. My question is that last year, there was a mosque in the northern Israel. It was called Al-Ahmar Mosque. It was converted into a bar, into a nightclub. Why do we have selective outrage and selective criticism about things? Like, as a Muslim, I endorse secularism. Like, I don't think I can call myself a pillar of secularism. But as a Muslim, it hurts me because Al-Ahmar Mosque, it was important to Muslims as well, but it was converted into a bar. And then what happened in Hagia Sophia, it's wrong, but it was outrage. Even Pope, even the grand priest from the Russian church, they were all condemning, like Erdogan did this bad, and he did bad. I'd say he did bad. But why do we have selective justice about stuff? What about Al-Ahmar Mosque? No one talks about it. No one did. I'm sure majority of the people are not even aware about it. I want to know your stance about the journalism point of view.
I guess I'm not familiar with the particular. This is in Israel, I take it. What is it? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and of course Israel is very much in a continuing conflict with what had been Palestine and the Palestinians who live there and all of that. And so I'm not surprised that something like that took, but I'm not aware of one that was converted into a bar and a nightclub.
Sir, I know, I'm not saying if Israel did, because they will do that. You're not surprised, like no one is surprised. My question is, why do we have like selective outrage?
Selective outrage. I guess the question with the Hagia Sophia is that if they claim that it was the property of what then was conqueror of the founder of the Ottoman Empire, in effect, when it was converted to a mosque, but it was a church before that, and then I think that conversion of it into a museum was done as the maximum respect for what had been the history of the building for both the Catholic religion and the Islamic that it had become, so such that it could remain in, with all the iconography of both and not be one or the other. And I think that was also what the secularization of Turkey that what's his name was promoting at the time, that they turned it into a museum. And now Erdogan is wanting to reverse that. So it's symbolic. Clearly, the most extraordinary mosque is just 50 feet away. That's why I showed the blue mosque, and it serves as a museum in the way that I showed you, with all of these explanatory texts and plaques and all of that. And what nobody has said is what's going to happen to all of that. What's going to happen to the iconography of Christianity that is the works of art that remain and have been re-exposed in the building? Will they be painted over? Will they be left in place? Will they be explained on and on tablets and things like that, as they are still now, and or at least have been? And it's so important not to lose that, because it's the idea of painting them over, and of course Islamic the Islamic faith spurns having human representative images in the art, and they blew up the Buddhist carvings and destroyed that. And that was a symbolic act as well. So I'm hoping this will calm down and the building will not be damaged in the way that I'm afraid it might be if they try to eliminate the art that has re-exposed within it, and the archaeology as well. Will they fill that in? Will they take it away? All of that is a concern to me, because it's part of the human culture. Have that, and it stands as a demonstration of Islam to anybody who comes into it, just as it stands as a representation of ancient Christianity as well. So it's a unifying place to go. When only 50 paces away, you can go into an absolutely extraordinary work of art, the Blue Mosque, even before you get to all the many other mosques and historic sites within the Tanamet area.
And I'll have to cut you here. We're running out of time. We're like 8 minutes over. Can you hear me?
Can you speak closely to your mic? You're all muffled.
My earphone died. We have few people who have questions. We're running out of time. We have Prabhakar and Irfan who want to ask questions. I think Prabhakar wants to ask questions to Justice Katju. Let's keep it pretty brief, because we're really running out of time, so that we can wrap it up. Thanks, Professor Attar. Thanks for your question. Prabhakar, you have any questions for Justice Katju?
Yeah, thanks, Tasawar. I would like to ask questions to Justice Katju. So he has written an article about reservation. The current reservation system doesn't do justice. His opinion, he says that it has to be abolished. So it's what is your stand about, we talk about we didn't particularly mention whether it's educational or political reservation or anything about it, right? So if you think about, do you think, is there possibility in a constituency, a SC candidate or Muslim candidate or or minority candidate can be elected if you abolish the reservation? Okay, so then you are saying that this reservation is actually not doing justice, or it's not going to abolish the caste system. So what is your solution in order to, when you say you want to abolish, so you should also, when you state a problem, I guess you also should provide solution, or you should enlighten us what is the way path forward for us in order to bring everybody into the central system, or everybody to be participated in the political system, so that everyone voice can be heard. Then also I would I don't want take it too part. If you look at in any party comes into the power in India, why 80 to 90% of ministers or MLA MP is from certain caste? Okay, so even though we given reservation for how many ministers right now are in the previous government from Muslim minority or any minority in India? So
I think, Prabhakar, you have an excellent question. Sorry, I got my voice back. I think this is a very detailed discussion. It will require another webinar for that. So let's leave it for the next one. Sorry, Randolph, earlier I got cut. So good questions, good answer. There are a lot of issues we need to address and need to talk about. There's a lot of, injustice that's happening in Kashmir, right? A lot of kids are getting blinded, all things. There are a lot of topics we need to talk, which are pressing. But unfortunately, we're very limited time. We're over by 10 minutes. I'll just probably hand it over to Justice Katju for a closing word, so we can wrap it up for the day and continue the conversation on the next one.
Thank you, Tasawar. I entirely agree with Prabhakar. We in Ibadatkhana must not only oppose religious discrimination, we must also oppose caste discrimination or any kind of discrimination. We have to struggle for equality, not only religious equality, but caste equality. I'm dead against the caste system. I want to see it destroyed as quickly as possible. But I wanted to just, I have written an article, you can see, it's online. And I've said that this reservation is doing greatest damage to the Dalits. They don't realize, because there are 22 or 24 crore Dalits in India. How many are getting benefit of reservation? Hardly 0.1%. There are just a few lakh jobs. So very few Dalits are getting benefit of reservation, but an impression is created that everybody is getting benefit of reservation, which is totally wrong. So you are being taken for a ride. It's just political, just for your votes that this has been put up, and it is doing great harm. The Dalits should say, we don't want reservation. We will show that by working hard and competing with upper caste on merit, we will show that we are not inferior intellectually. They should demand, the Dalits should demand abolition of reservation. It is doing great harm. They are being befooled by politicians. Reservation is only benefiting the politicians. It is not benefiting the Dalits or OBC. They are being befooled. Hardly 0.1% get benefit, and that too of the creamy layer. The poor Dalits will never get benefit of reservation. So this is, but however, as you said that we can have this on the next webinar, but I have written an article on it. You can go online, just type Justice Katju, reservations are doing great harm to Dalits, and you will see the reasons I have given. To abolish casteism, it will require a great united people's struggle so as to create an industrial society. It is only when we are in an industrial society that casteism will be destroyed in India. We are today a semi-feudal society. So unless we are highly industrialized, we will never abolish casteism. And to get highly industrialized, we must be united. That is why Ibadatkhana is so important, that it opposes division in society. It opposes polarization. It opposes, discrimination on religious or caste, any basis. This is the historical significance of Ibadatkhana, that our path is the path to making India a highly developed and highly industrialized country, which alone can destroy casteism. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Katju. I appreciate this has been a very awesome, excellent discussion, very healthy. We're going to live telecast it on, broadcast it on Justice Katju's Facebook and other social media. It has been a pleasure. I know we will, I can understand we cannot afford to be spending 1 hour, 2 hours every month. I agree with Ritu. We'll conduct the next one in September, and we'll have more guests by that time. We'll wrap it up with Iqbal's share, very famous. I don't know whether you guys have heard it. Utho mere duniya ke, excuse me, Randolph, I know you can't understand. Utho mere duniya ke garibon ko jaga do, khake umra ke daro diwar hila do. Zarmao gulamu ka lahu soze yaqeen se, kanjish ko firawmaya ko shahi se lada do. Sultan jamhur ka aata hai zamana, jamhur is democracy, jo naqsh kohan tumko nazar aaye mita do. So with that, thank you again. I look forward to seeing you in about, couple of months. Have a great day.
You need to translate.
Good night.
You need to translate it for Randolph.
I'll translate it for Randolph.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
All right, everyone.